Now, the mainstream media are having a fit after White House Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham personally invited OAN Chanel Rion to continue attending press briefings. One America's Pearson Sharp has more as Playboy's Karem demands that same special treatment after disrupting press briefings for years.
After attacking the President of the United States, after attacking freedom of speech, and after attacking their fellow journalists at One American News, members of the White House Correspondents Association are now asking for special favors. While One American News fights hard to deliver just the facts, members of the press corps have repeatedly and relentlessly fought to keep OAN out of the White House briefing room. Last week, they successfully revoked OAN's seat in the briefing room, essentially banning One American News from reporting in the White House. But their special brand of radical justice has just fallen flat on its face. Despite their ban, White House Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham is making sure One American News is included by personally inviting OAN's Chanel Rion into the briefing room. The left-wing media doesn't know how to respond. So now they're asking for the same privilege. CNN contributor and Playboy writer extraordinaire Brian Karem, the same Karem who's been fired for his aggressive tactics and just recently had his press pass revoked for shouting at White House officials, is insisting on getting the same special treatment given to One American News. In a letter to Press Secretary Grisham, Karem demanded to be allowed to attend any and all future press conferences at the White House, regardless of the current press rotation due to the concerns over the coronavirus. He argues that because the White House is permitting reporters from One American News, which Karem specifically calls the president's favorite network, that he should be allowed to attend as well. This is the same man that Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham called disruptive and said violated widely accepted standards of professionalism with his bad behavior at the White House. But the Department of Justice didn't take Karem's letter lying down and on Sunday fired back their own response. The DOJ explains that in case Karem had forgotten, the briefing room is White House property, not the press corps, and essentially the White House can invite whoever they want, whenever they want. An attorney for the DOJ states that the social distancing rotation was entirely the idea of the press corps, and neither the press secretary nor the White House have any obligation to follow it. They also explain that since the press corps came up with the rotation, Karem would be better off complaining to them and not the press secretary. The White House then defends its decision to invite OAN's Chanel Rion into the briefing room by explaining it's a long-standing tradition to invite special guests and that nothing in the First Amendment requires Stephanie Grisham to make Brian Karem her special guest as well, noting that privilege is reserved for bona fide journalists, not just everyone. Ironically, Karem argues that his freedom of speech means he has a right to attend these meetings. At the same time, he and his other cronies in the press corps have no problem suspending One American News from attending. They're making these rules up as they go, and they can change them at any time. But watch out if you ever try to make them accountable or make them play by their own rules. They're a gang, and they don't like competition from networks like One American News because they can't control what we say. Well, that's too bad, because One American News is just going to keep reporting the truth. We aren't going anywhere. For One American News, I'm Pearson Sharp.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.